Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Supporters of an assault weapons ban rally at the state capitol in Springfield. Gun safety advocates urge lawmakers to pass the Protect Illinois Communities Act.
And a Rockford woman's body was discovered behind a Roscoe business last July. Now the company and the community make sure we don't forget Ashley Hardin.
Plus, a new vending machine at a local elementary school dispenses something other than snacks. Kids can choose from a variety of brain food. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. Rockford Police arrest a man for a whole list of drug and weapons charges. Officers
were called to 12th Street Wednesday evening for reports of a domestic disturbance and possible shots fired. Police knocked on the door, no one answered. Officers say they saw shell casings and several people inside the home. During the investigation, officers located and recovered 2 handguns, one with an automatic switch and one with an attached laser light. 3 other handguns, one with a defaced serial number, and a rifle and a shotgun, along with 900 grams of cannabis. 20-year-old Jorge Herrera Avila was arrested and charged with various gun charges and possession with intent to deliver cannabis. Dozens of people gathered at the Illinois State Capitol calling on lawmakers to pass the assault weapons ban.
The bill would raise the age to own these kinds of guns to 21. Gun control advocates, lawmakers, and faith leaders rallied in favor of the bill. One supporter believes lawmakers need to take action now to protect other communities from gun violence. Republicans oppose any legislation that would limit gun rights.
This is a non-starter. We are not going to negotiate the Second Amendment of the Constitution.
It needs more than the people here. It needs everybody to understand that if it hasn't hit your community yet, it will. It's coming to your community whether you like it or not, and you cannot wait until it affects you personally for it to matter to you.
Lawmakers are negotiating changes to the bill as they close out the current session. They have until January 11th to take a vote.
We now have the timeline on when the Supreme Court could weigh in on the Safety Act. Over the next 3 months, the state and state's attorneys will have several deadlines, but oral arguments in front of the court will not start until March, meaning we most likely will have to wait until March to get a ruling.
Unfortunately, the Supreme Court generally moves pretty slowly, so this is expedited. You know, we're happy to see that we have a schedule. We're happy to see that we know when this is going to go to hopefully go into effect.
After a Kankakee County judge ruled the elimination of cash bail unconstitutional, the state appealed to the Supreme Court. While the case continues, the court issued a stay ordering counties to delay getting rid of cash bail. Last July, Ashley Hardin was reported missing. The body of the Rockford woman was later found behind Eco Lab in Roscoe. Now the business and the community are coming together to honor Ashley's memory.
Nikel Delgado joins us now. Nikel, what are they working on?
Eric, Mimi, the tragic loss of Ashley Hardin has left an impact, and that's why community members and Eco Lab employees wanted to do something in her honor.
When the tragedy occurred, we were all shocked and deeply saddened and didn't know, how to react, how to respond.
Eco Lab plant manager Tom Ramsden tells me people wanted to find a positive way to honor the loss of Ashley Hardin. That honor has came in the form of a commemorative bench.
Once we got about half the funding secured, I reached out to the company and said, hey, can you help? And the company agreed to fund the whole bench. And so we took the money that we had raised and we actually used it to supply both birthday and Christmas gifts to Ashley's 3 minor children.
It will include a plaque dedicated to Hardin. The plaque reads a quote from Ashley herself: "Continue smiling, growing, loving, and showing respect." Ramsden says they want the bench to serve as a reminder of who Ashley was and keep her memory alive.
We believe it's very meaningful to them to have a peaceful place that can be the focal point of remembrances and a memorial for her. We want the message that she brought of hope and kindness and love to the world.
It took 3 months for everything to come together. During the first week of December, the bench was placed at Stonebridge Trail just south of Rockton Road. Ramsden says they chose to put the bench in a well-traveled area for the public and Eco Lab employees to enjoy.
When they see the bench, when they sit on the bench, hopefully they reflect on that there was a beautiful life lost, but it's not the end.
Ecolab says there will be a public dedication honoring Ashley in April. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Nicole. The above normal temperatures and lack of snow is pushing back a winter event. The 37th annual Illinois Snow Sculpting Competition will now take place next month. The event was scheduled for January 18th through the 21st, but has now been pushed back to February 8th through the 11th at Sinisippi Park. It gives the Rockford Park District extra time to make snow, but due to the warmer temperatures, they haven't been able to make enough. Each competition block is 6 feet long, 6 feet wide, and 10 feet high, and requires 2.5 tons of snow. This year, 13 state teams and 13 high school teams will compete.
Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI is laid to rest. A funeral mass was held for him in St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. Pope Francis presided over the funeral. About 50,000 people attended. The casket was later sealed in the Basilica Grotto. The former pontiff passed away December 31st at the age of 95. Benedict served as pope for 8 years. He was the first pontiff to retire in about 6 centuries. In less than a half hour, the Rockford Catholic Diocese will offer a Mass in honor of Pope Benedict. It's at 5:30 at St. Peter's Cathedral. That's on Church Street. Bishop David Malloy will celebrate Mass. The public is invited. Local students have a new and fun way to find a book to read.
It actually works.
Pecatonica Elementary School now has a book vending machine. It was delivered just before winter break. Fundraising paid for the machine and the books. Special gold tokens are needed to buy a book. Kids earn those through good behavior and making good choices. Administrators say it's a new way to engage their students.
I think it's exciting to see kids as excited about books as they are about Pokemon cards, which is our other top seller on our good behavior cart. So it's been great to see the book vending machine rivaling their enthusiasm for Pokemon, which is a win for all adults everywhere.
Brockway says she hopes the vending machine will lead to some lifelong readers. It's deja vu on Capitol Hill. The House of Representatives is now trying for a third day to elect a speaker.
Coming up, GOP House Leader Kevin McCarthy is under growing pressure from fellow Republicans.
We've had some light snow showers kind of pick up a little more in intensity over the last couple of hours. We'll see that here as we go through the rest of this evening. Find out if that snow will linger into our Friday, coming up in your most trusted forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
The U.S. House of Representatives is struggling to elect a Speaker of the House. We're now in day 3 of voting.
Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson tells us about the impact it's having on the ability to get things done for the American people.
The House entered day 3 of voting for a speaker with no end in sight.
This is a big problem that needs to be rectified.
Earlier, House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy met with some of the Republicans who oppose him, offering them deals to win their support. But Indiana's Larry Bouchon says those Republican holdouts aren't cooperating.
And not in the interest of the Republican Party, not in the interest of the American people.
After multiple rounds of voting without any progress, some Republicans say it may be time for a new leader to emerge.
If it becomes clear and evident that there's no potential path forward, then I think that it may be time to start looking for the next conservative leader.
Until that point, Missouri Republican Eric Burleson and West Virginia's Carol Miller say they'll keep voting for McCarthy.
I will not consider a different option as long as Kevin is a candidate.
Kansas Democrat Sharice Davis says the chaos in the chamber is hurting the country.
There are real consequences to us not having a speaker.
Davis says Democrats are united in their choice for speaker and is urging Republicans to join them.
Some of the folks on the other side of the aisle wanted to vote for Hakeem. That would be amazing.
Nothing else can happen in the House until a speaker is elected, which includes organizing committees and drafting legislation. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson.
Well, it's been a cold and snowy day here in the Forest City.
When we come back, Candace shows us if the weekend will be any different. She's next.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we've been stuck in the cloud cover for most of this afternoon, and now we're starting to see some of those lighter snow showers begin to pick up a little more over the last couple of hours in coverage and in intensity in a few spots. We had a few heavier bursts of snow just a little further off to the west of us, but the snow will continue to work in from west to east here over the next couple of hours, dropping visibility down as it does come through, but there is an improvement a little to the west of us where visibility was down. Not too much of an issue, though, for us this evening. I think of bigger concern going to be some of the slick conditions that will persist as those lighter snow showers do come down and kind of stick again to the roadways. We take a live look with our SkyTrack camera down in Rochelle this evening. You can actually see that snow a little more steady too in the light there of the building, and then that visibility lowered once you look a little further there to the north along that Interstate 88 corridor. So again, like this morning, if you're heading out this evening, just use some caution because those untreated roads will be a little on the slick side. Not expecting much for an accumulation with this. We had about 3/10 of an inch of snow here at the station, picking up 1/2 an inch of snowfall from last night this morning in a couple of spots, and maybe another dusting up to a few 1/10 of an inch of what is coming through right now. So just enough to kind of slicken up some of those roadways. Temperatures for us right now are in the low 30s. That's where our weather watcher Sandy sits here in the Kirkland-Fairdale area there in DeKalb County. 32. Got a westerly wind now this evening as those lighter snow showers continue to work in from the west. We'll keep that here, I'd say through about 9-10 o'clock, and then that'll transition over to a few more flurries going through the night tonight and into very early tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, we've got cloud cover to start us off with, but there's some light at the end of the week. I think we see some sunshine for tomorrow afternoon, so that is a plus. Not a lot of sunshine, but we may be able to break up some of that cloud cover just enough as that low pressure system peels further away from us and high pressure builds in, that by the afternoon we should be able to see at least maybe a little blue up on top of those clouds. As we go through tomorrow night, clearing again, and depending on how much we clear out, temperatures could actually drop into the teens for the start of Saturday. Saturday, I think we get a little more sunshine for the afternoon as high pressure builds into the north, but there is an area of low pressure that'll be passing us to the south. Right now, that low looks to kind of pass far enough to the south to keep any sort of snow precip chances on the lower scale of things Saturday into Sunday, because you have high pressure up to the north and that drier air working in. So I did hold on to just a small chance for a couple of snow showers, snow flurries late Saturday night, but most of our day on Saturday looking to be dry and temperatures back into the mid and upper 30s. 26 degrees, that's where we'll head for the overnight tonight. Temperature tomorrow up around 33, so very similar to where we were today. Winds not overly strong from the west and northwest at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. You've got 37 on Saturday, 38 on Sunday, near 40 on Monday, so overall our temperature trend staying up above average, and those overnight lows too still somewhat comfortable. We know at the beginning of January it could be a lot colder. Small chance for some light mixed precipitation Monday into Tuesday, and then I do think our temperatures will drop back a little once we get in towards the end of next week.
Monday will feel almost balmy, especially if we get some sunshine. Thanks, Candace.
Scott's in next with sports.
The Packers continue to prepare for their big game Sunday against the Lions. We'll get Aaron Rodgers' take on a must-win matchup.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
Well, the Packers have been in desperation mode for the last 2 months, and that feeling hits a peak Sunday night. If the Packers beat the Lions at Lambeau Field, they'll of course be in the playoffs, but if they lose, they won't be. Aaron Rodgers has been in some must-win situations before in the playoffs, certainly. It's some of his younger teammates who haven't experienced this type of pressure that he wonders about.
There's always new guys that got to feel what that pressure feels like of a true win and in, lose and go home scenario. And we've had, a couple of these over the years against the Lions. We had one in 16. I think that helps some of those old guys who have experience with it. And then it just depends on how guys can handle the anxiety and the pressure leading up to it. Once the game starts, it's football.
Well, Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin is making good progress in his recovery from cardiac arrest. Medical personnel in Cincinnati say he has made substantial improvement. He's following commands and he's moving his hands and his feet. Meanwhile, his Buffalo teammates held their first practice today since Monday night. And in Cincinnati, Bengals receiver T. Higgins, the player who Hamlin tackled before collapsing, had this to say.
Yeah, obviously it's been hard, just because, I had something to do with the play and whatnot. But, everybody's been making me feel whole again. I talked to his mom, and, everything's okay. He's doing good, so I'm in a good place right now.
The Fighting Illini basketball team has dug itself quite a hole in Big Ten play this season. They're now 0-3 after dropping a game last night in Northwestern. The Illini not only lost, but they look bad doing it by making poor decisions and not hustling at times. The Illini need to take a cue from the Packers, who were counted out a few weeks ago and fought back.
I think we all know, and it's like I told them, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get up. And you've got to get back up, and you've got to fight, and you've got to compete, and you've got to want something that's bigger than yourself.
The Illini's next game will be Saturday afternoon at home against Wisconsin. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Candace will have another look at weather in a moment.
First, here's a preview of what's planned for News Nation.
Tonight on my show on News Nation. We now know why police think they have their man in the Idaho murders. We're going to take you through the probable cause affidavit. There's a lot more in there than was expected. Plus, we've got some great news as America prays for the recovery of injured NFL player Damar Hamlin. Stephen A. Smith is here with a story you need to hear. Coming up tonight on the show.
Tonight on Dan Abrams Live. I'm one-on-one with one of the key McCarthy holdouts, Representative Lauren Boebert, on Dan Abrams Live.
That's all coming up on the cable and satellite stations you see here on the left of your screen. You can also head to newsnation.com.
So Candace, earlier you were talking about how we have not seen the sunshine in
It's missed a lot
of days. I know it, but we might see a little bit tomorrow.
I think we will. Even if it's a little peak for an hour, I think that'll help.
There was a
afternoon.
thinning in the clouds on the way into work today that I thought, oh, please. And it lasted maybe 20 seconds.
I know. Yeah, tomorrow and Saturday, I think we've got a good shot of seeing some sunshine. Same thing on Sunday, too. So hopefully that'll kind of help round out what's been a pretty cloudy week. And at times we've had some snow showers, too, and we've got some of that coming through here this evening. The First Warn Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Not expecting a lot for an accumulation here tonight. Maybe a dusting up to a few tenths of an inch, but enough to kind of slicken up those roadways, especially as that temperature slowly begins to drop back here this evening. So it could still be some issues with some black ice tomorrow morning, so be mindful of that. Bridges, overpasses, especially the untreated roads, still could be a little slick out there. 33 for tomorrow afternoon, low 20s tomorrow night, close to 40 early next week.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.